Welcome. I'm Steve McDowell, Chief Analyst and Founder at NAND Research. And today we're talking with NetApp's Boko and Jonsi Stefansson about NetApp's just released 2024 Cloud Complexity Report. Gaby's NetApp's Chief Marketing Officer and Jonsi, it's our Senior Vice President and Chief Technology Officer. Let's set the stage. Gaby, start with you. Can you tell us what is the Cloud Complexity Report?
At a tactical level, it's a quantitative study of IT executives across a lot of our major markets, including the US, the UK, France, Germany, Spain, Australia, mostly English speaking, with Japan, Singapore, and India as well. I think what we're excited about is two things. Number one is that this is our second annual. And the reason that's exciting is because we're taking a baseline and we're really starting to watch it evolve and grow, which is super important as you think about the complexity that surrounds cloud. And the second reason we're excited is because it's really fascinating in this second year that we've done this to really see some of those new insights, some of that evolution around some of the biggest challenges that global IT teams faced when dealing with cloud. So, all of those things together makes this an important part of our strategy.
Sure. And you said this is the second time you've done this. I guess my question is, you're a storage company. People think about NetApp as a storage company. So why did you commission this research, and what do you hope to gain from it?
Yeah, that's a really great question. When you think about who we are, we define ourselves as really an intelligent data infrastructure company. And that as you think about data infrastructure, it's really important to allow that to be more than just storage. And cloud is an important and critical component that our customers face, right? When they're dealing with their data infrastructure, it's not just in its on-prem storage, but it's also in the cloud. And some of the largest companies, largest customers, they deal with the same pressures, right? Regardless if it's on-prem or in the cloud, they're dealing with pressures to reduce costs. Especially when you then start to bring the cloud in, you're thinking about that as, how do we look to leverage the cloud to continue to get better time to ROI, managing those data dependent workloads, especially in hybrid multi-cloud environments. So, when you think about all up, that's a really important reason as to why we decided to do that, why we think it's really important to tie back to really thinking about data infrastructure as a whole, but also why cloud complexity has an impact on where customers are setting their global priorities. And we do see, just as a teaser, we're seeing that shift this year from this study.
It's one thing I think to understand what the customers are, what the challenges are that are facing the customers and how they're engaging in kind of their day-to-day IT operations. But more practically, Jonsi, maybe, how did the findings from the report impact where you or how NetApp focuses its attention? For example, making sure your AI portfolio is in the right path. How do you use this data?
Well, actually, the report really confirms that there is considerable disparity when it comes to where companies are on their AI journey. It also confirms that we are on the right path, delivering an intelligent data infrastructure that eliminates data silos and is optimized for AI and Gen AI and delivers the needed agility to the hybrid cloud world that we live in. In the past year, NetApp has announced a number of key innovations to help our customers not only get started, but manage, secure, and store AI workloads, including the announcements that we made at Google Next and at NVIDIA DTC. What we've done with Nemo Retriever, or the NVIDIA product, Nemo Retriever, and the integrations that we've done is basically we've AI-enabled every single on-tap controller in the world, whether it resides in our first-party offerings in the public clouds, or in our customer premises, or within our managed service providers. So users can actually retrieve or ingest in place, from any unique NetApp controller. NetApp is the first one to do this integration, and it was really, really great to hear Jensen on stage talking about how 50% of all unstructured data in the world resides on NetApp controllers.
So there's a lot in the Cloud Complexity Report. There's a lot on the mind of enterprise IT. I want to touch on a lot of it, but I really want to drill down. AI is top of mind to a lot of IT practitioners right now. It's hard to avoid it. So I really want to drill down into how enterprises are thinking about AI and what the impact there is on, the infrastructure, whether that's on-prem or in the cloud. In the report, one of the things that stood out for me was that 60% of organizations you talk to have projects up and running around AI. I mean, that's incredible. But at the same time, and I think you hit on this a little bit, right? There highlights a difference between what the report calls AI leaders and AI laggards, right? It's striking that there's a divide. It's kind of both regional and across industries. So, what did you learn, and what surprised you about where IT teams are in their journey to deploy and leverage AI? Did anything jump out at you?
Yeah, well, I mean, what really surprised me was the difference between industries and how different industries are actually, so far apart, yet have the same mission in automation and, taking advantage of AI. And the geographical difference, I mean, having only 17% of Japanese customers just barely getting started. So, but what I wasn't surprised at where the companies are on their AI journey globally, and how our laggards can really learn from the leaders, and we've seen this within our own customers as well. And for those companies that at the start of their journey, working with a company that specializes in intelligent data infrastructure is key, because your model is only going to be as good as your training data is.
But returning to this theme or staying on this theme of leaders and laggards, it was equally striking that even with all that benefit, the two groups seem to view those benefits differently, right? So how should we interpret that?
Well, we all understand the benefits of basically anything more thoroughly once we've actually done it, and we've seen the result firsthand. And I don't think this group of laggards are any different.
I agree, Jonsi. That's I think that companies, especially in the chart that you're talking about, it's important that those companies are on a spectrum, right? Some companies, countries, industries, they're all starting their AI journeys while others are really in full swing. And where they are, they can learn from the other leaders in the industry as to how to fully embrace AI for automation, analytics, security, innovation. And that's, I think, the beauty of really having this study and people learning from others. It's the same way you did with cloud, right? This is now an impact for cloud, and it's a new way to learn how to use cloud and use AI as a wedge for that.
I think, as I look at this, one of the reasons that it seems complex and challenging as an IT guy is, a lot of these technologies are not traditional IT technologies that we're used to dealing with. A lot of this comes out of, the scientific computing world or the HPC world. So, as an IT guy, this doesn't look like traditional enterprise workloads, right? Compute infrastructure looks different, although cloud can, I think, simplify a lot of that. Networking looks different, but we also have to treat our data different, right? It's not about storage and just delivering, a certain level of performance on storage. It's really about the data infrastructure. And, more enterprise data, I think, is managed by NetApp solutions than probably any other technology provider out in the market. Nobody understands data better than you. So this one's for you. What needs to change, and how should IT practitioners think about their data infrastructure as they need to support enterprise AI initiatives?
Well, they say that specifically Gen AI has quadruple the worth of unstructured data, and unstructured data resides on enterprise controllers, and enterprise data management is still or even more important right now than ever before. So I kind of like to think about that you are actually getting way more value for the data than ever before, and companies are going to be needing a unified approach to infrastructure and data management that enables performance, productivity, and protection. Don't forget about the protection. And the key here is everywhere, because we are going to be in a world where GPU capacity, like for example, there's an 8 month wait for the Hopper GPU from NVIDIA right now. And if you are in that scenario and AI has become, like it's going to become for any company in the world, mission critical for the survival of the company, how to migrate, replicate data, how to be compliant and make sure that all the governance are in place, then IT. So IT is going to play a critical role in all of this. NetApp has the highest performing data infrastructure that eliminates silos, because we are the only company in the world that can actually say that we have a first-party storage offering with all three of the hyperscalers.
The technology scares a lot of IT workers, and there's a belief that they have to go and reconfigure their data center. How do you look at the impact of AI on the underlying infrastructure, IT infrastructure?
Everybody thinks that they have to, redesign their data centers for InfiniBand to get started, and none of the enterprises are going to redesign their data centers. I mean, they're going to stay with the Ethernet standards.
So there are two ways of looking at AI as an IT practitioner. Right? One is making sure that we have the services we need to support the enterprise and their AI needs, right? And that's one bucket. I think we've been talking a lot about that here. But the other is the use of AI to improve IT operations. And one of the things the Cloud Complexity Report called out or touches on is the rise of automation, using or, highlighting the use of AI for cloud ops and AI-driven cloud deployments. The report said, if I'm remembering this right, something like 85% of what you classify as AI leaders are automating cloud operations, and a smaller number of laggards are following suit. How should we think about the role of AI-enabled automation in enterprise IT?
Well, I think we've hit on an inflection point in AI. At one point, AI was just a way for customers to differentiate themselves. Certainly the case today is that if you don't do AI, you're getting left behind. So it has gone from, it would be nice to have an investment dollars to do this, to if I don't do this, I might not survive. It's basically there.
Let's go a little bit deeper there, right? We've already figured out that AI is a competitive differentiator, and that it accelerates innovation. What Jonsi's referring to here at NetApp is that AI is something that we've deeply ingrained in our operations, not just from even what Jonsi measures, but from even tools that use machine learning, predictive analytics to enhance storage system health, availability, security, sustainability. All these ways are ways that AI is helping marketing and sales and product to understand and support customers better. Number one is, what are you going to do for your customers? And then what are you going to do internally that really help your customers' experience? So I think that's unlimited. And that's what this report is showing, is that you can refine and define complexity and automation in several different ways, but you always need to come at it from a customer perspective, and then how what you're doing changes that as well.
So you said a couple of things there, and I want to drill down and touch on them a little bit. When we talk about AI today, we're defaulting to generative AI. That's where the heat is. That's where a lot of the interesting applications are. But the reality is, right, more traditional machine learning based AI, we've been doing this for a long time. And I know NetApp, Jonsi, has a long history of using, predictive analytics and causal AI, to understand the IT guys don't always see this, but you have experience as part of your system and has been for a long time, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even though the terminology intelligent data infrastructure is relatively new, we've been doing this for a long, long time, where we have identified, what is hot data, what is cold data. We've, all of our efficiencies, our deduplications, everything that we've been doing is all based on machine learning. And machine learning also tells us when to tear off data to object storage, for example, for cost optimization. And then it brings it back as soon as it becomes warm or slightly warmer. It actually brings it back to our controllers. That's all based on machine learning.
I want to set AI aside for a second. I mean, I think what I'm hearing here is, and what I've read in the report is, AI is of strategic importance to most enterprises, and it's going to change the way that IT manages operations and does its job. Uh, it's a strategic focus, right? But much more tactically, day to day, the real active daily concern for IT leadership at most enterprises isn't AI. It's making sure the organization is protected against cyber attacks, preventing attacks, and quickly recovering from those attacks. Seems also to be top of mind for those you talked to in the report. So, what did you learn from the report about how IT leaders are thinking about the evolving threats and cybersecurity and how they can better protect their enterprise?
The most valuable attack surface for cyber criminals is data today, because that has the biggest impact on customers. So cybersecurity being a top concern for everyone in every region, in every industry, is not surprising. And that's why NetApp has delivered, these ransomware guarantees, as an example. And NetApp understands the governance and compliance is critical. You can't simply move your data wherever you want. All over the place due to PII, HIPAA, GDPR, and so on. You have to continuously be validating what data you're allowed to use, what you're allowed to upload to those open models, and what you're allowed to move and what you're allowed to migrate where. So that is why it's becoming a business critical component of what we call an intelligent data infrastructure.
Yeah, I think just specifically, I think you were referring to that point in the survey that increased cybersecurity jumped from, I think, 16% to 45 to 61, right? So all other concerns for everybody in the survey decreased, which is really fascinating. And I think Jonsi just was tying it back to AI, right? When you think about the advent and emergence of AI, it has a bearing on cybersecurity because it means that every company, every employee, every bad actor, everybody wields incredible power. And so those concerns are not unwarranted. AI can contribute, can help. What Jonsi was talking about, protecting your data, is really at the core of when you're trying to solve these problems. If you're keeping data at the core, if you're thinking about pairing and understanding your intelligent data infrastructure, then you're really answering those concerns and you're not treating the risks in silos. But it was quite astonishing how high that jumped in the survey as something that people were wanting answers to, or wanting or needing to deal with.
So I want to stay on this cybersecurity thing for a second, but maybe walk away from the report and talk about the technology and how IT should think about cybersecurity. Historically, we've always relied on a vast array of external tools, third-party tools to manage cybersecurity. But I think, as one of you pointed out, the cyber threats are against your data, and my data is living on a NetApp array someplace or in the cloud on ONTAP. So how much cybersecurity is being integrated into the storage platform itself? I know we've had immutable snapshots for a long while, and one of the, I think, most interesting announcements I saw this year out of the industry is your recent introduction of the ability to do real-time malware detection within the array itself. I think it was a first among tier 1 storage providers. Jonsi, are we moving toward a world where data protection lives within the data infrastructure itself?
I think we're already there. So you need an intelligent data infrastructure that's able to essentially monitor itself and take action quickly without having human intervention. And that requires a level of analytics and automatic reaction that could only be delivered through AI.
We're running out of time, and we've touched on quite a bit today, it feels like, but we've really only glanced across the high points of what the report tells us. So I encourage everyone watching to take a look, download, read the report, NetApp's 2024 Cloud Complexity Report, and take a look. The link to that report is in the notes here, and you can find it at netapp.com. Thank you, Gaby and Jonsi, for taking the time.
Thank you, Steve.
And for our viewers, again, we have a link to the report in the description below. And thanks